Well, hello there. Thanks for joining me. I am Dr. Jen, and this is my life as a landlord. In life, they say misery loves a company. But what happens if your company is speaking a different language than you are? Recently, I had coffee with a dear friend of mine, and she had a sticker that looked like a round Wheel of Fortune looking thing with some colorful bits on it. And she asked me if I wanted to try something, which is always suspect. And what I proceeded to do with her was very interesting. During our conversation, I felt peace. I felt in check, very present. And she asked some very raw things of me that I wasn't really expecting. And it was actually really cool. As landlords, you might be searching for a tool set like this. And here today are my good friends and experts about what we're going to talk about, James and Tanya Hanson. Welcome, you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you. Good to see you.
Likewise, I'm so glad you're here. And this is kind of a one-off. This has nothing to do with real estate. This has to do with being a human and being good relationship stewards. And you guys are talking about connection codes. But what is that?
Hmm. That's a real good question, and it's it's pretty difficult to answer at the get-go because it's something you have to experience. But really, connection codes is the language and the tools that return us to our original programming as who we are, the way we were made, and how we were as kids. And as we grow up, and as we get we get completely turned off by people. We get shut down. We get turned off. We get told to just buck it up, do what you need to do. And we lose touch with ourselves, and we lose touch with what's happening for us inside of us, what's going on inside of us. And what we end up doing is becoming unauthentic and shallow. And we just get all about the task and not about the connection and not about the reality of who we are as people, who we are as together in relationship, and the deeper issues of life, and they just fall away. And this is about returning to original programming and talking a language that we were born with. Because nobody asks a 12-month-old baby what's happening with you when they're crying in the middle of the night. It's like everybody knows what's going on because a baby expresses itself. And as we grow, we learn to shut that down. But really, we're just older babies, and we need to express what's happening for us.
Yeah.
And it's a language that actually just completely blindsided me when I discovered it. And it took me a while to actually reconnect with myself. And I've discovered, and tons discovered through this process, that I'm a better husband. We are way better connected. We're way better connected to our kids. In my job as a high school teacher, I'm connecting with kids on a level that I never dreamed of. And in it too, I'm seeing a rise in productivity, a rise in peace, and just a whole different level of relationship that's happening with the people around me. And it's just something we couldn't keep to ourselves. We had to share. And so we've been sharing it with people and groups, and we just finished running our second cohort of 80 people through this course, and it's absolutely amazing the testimonies we're hearing.
Yeah. Amazing. And Tanya, what's your take on all this? I mean, he's obviously passionate about it, but I know you are too.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's tools that are the guide to human connection. And I'm somebody who's always lived in logistics. And what we've learned through reading this book by Dr. Glenn and Phyllis Hill and their daughter Echo is that humans don't connect through logistics. We connect through emotion. And we've always desired to be as authentic as can be with each other and with people. And when James bought the book in April of last year, 2024, he asked me to read a portion of it as it relates to processing emotion for trauma. And then I couldn't put the book down, so he had to order another copy. And, for myself, I've walked through some health concerns and living in chronic pain. And truly learning these tools, which are simple but not easy, I've seen like a 90% reduction in chronic pain in my body, and just more authentic relationships with women in my life that I'm friends with. And what's amazing is we're doing this together, and we've never done something of this magnitude together, and it's amazing.
Yeah, you know, one of the beautiful things is we've pretty much done every marriage course known to mankind over our 35 years of marriage. This one course blows everything right out of the water because you actually leave with tools that are for life, as opposed to a great weekend and then things kind of wear off and, you know, the honeymoon's over, that sort of thing. Whereas this, actually, we walk it out every day. Like that core motion wheel that Ton did with you that one day, we do that every morning before I go off to work.
Walk us through what it is. I mean, I know you've got the wheel behind you, which is a big one.
Yeah.
So for those of you watching at YouTube at My Life as a Landlord, so you can see behind them. But walk us through. I mean, it's not simple, and I know you're not going to give us the whole deal on the connection codes, but it's clearly powerful. But just in a 15-minute coffee with you, Tanya, it was like instantly, I was like, that was so freeing. I have to have you on the podcast because I can't be the only one who feels this way. So
yeah,
talk to us about the wheel itself, like any of it, the history. I mean, it's so simple.
The research that Dr. Glenn did, and he is actually a certified marriage and family counselor, and he's got a PhD as well. And all that is on the website connectioncodes.co. And as we are designed by our creator, we have 5 neural regions in our brain. And what him and Dr. Glenn and Phyllis did was they broke a couple of them down a little bit further. So we have 8 core emotions. The one behind us is a stylized version that it was what's the word?
It was an anniversary.
It was an anniversary gift.
Yeah.
So we have a local artist in our church, Sydney Cote Jackson, who did this stylized version. So the core emotion wheel, commissioned is the word I was looking for. It was commissioned, and she did a beautiful job. So the core emotion wheel has all the names on it. So there'll be anger, joy, fear, hurt, sad, lonely, guilt, and shame. And the way this tool works is to process, and process means to talk about it with somebody that you're safe with, to get it out of your body. And the simplicity of this is to do this in 2 minutes per person, so 15 seconds per emotion. The research they did on it is if people had to spend 5 minutes or 6 minutes, they probably wouldn't do it, but we can do something in 4 minutes. And it's true. Sometimes we take longer, but sometimes we can do a wheel in 60 seconds. And the lightness that I feel after just processing it out is amazing.
So walk us through when you guys do one and it's, you know, a minute or 2 or however long you guys take to do it. How does it sound? I mean, you don't actually have to do one, but walk us through how you actually do it between the 2 of you, because I bet you're good at it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah, we can be good at it, but it doesn't necessarily make it easy. The process is simple, but it's not easy. Because
what do you mean?
When you get flooded with emotion, like even for me now, like we're 16, 17 months into this process. When I get flooded some days, I don't know what the frick's going on with me, and I need some time to let me breathe, let me figure out what's going on with me, so now I can communicate what's happening for me. But yeah, a really simple example. I mean, right here now off the cuff, and an evening after a busy day at work with kids, and it's report card season. It's like, yeah, I have some anger that some kids are just completely slacking off and they're not interested in school. I have guilt that maybe I didn't push some of the kids as hard as I did. I have a little bit of shame that as I'm typing up the comments, that there's some things I wanted to say, but I can't. I have some sad were some of the living situations with the students I work with, that some days getting to school is the best thing they have, and anything after that is just not possible for them. Lonely. I feel very lonely in my classroom and in the school, because I'm the only one who does my job in the school of over 900 students. And wow, joy. I had a kid today give me a piece of artwork that they did in their art class for me, just for me, because of how much the connection codes have impacted them and doing the wheel in my class. They're completely coming out of their shell and are actually having a really good time at school now, because they're getting what's happening for them out of them. And fear, yeah, I have a little bit of fear leading up to Christmas, because I know things really amp up in the school. As kids get closer to a holiday, that's 2 weeks without a safe place to come to, and they start to really get animated. And there's some fear around that for me, because I'm not going to be there to support them either. There's a wheel.
Wow. So it's a tool to get these emotions, to get everything out, to actually verbalize it. And you say it really quickly. I mean, if I had to think about, am I fearful of something today, I would actually have to think about it. And I think that's why, and in fact, I know that's why when Tanya, you and I did the wheel the first time, and I had the sticker in my hand, the wheel was in my hand as a sticker, going, okay, because I'd not read the book, right? I didn't know anything about it, but you said, do this. And then you had said too about the sounds. The sounds were important. Tell us why the sounds are important. Tell us what the sounds are.
So the person who's listening, so while James does a wheel in the morning, my job is to ooh him. And an audible ooh, connects in his brain in that I am listening and I'm being present for him. So that could be a wow, ooh, I get that. I hear you. That's a whole lot of different versions of an ooh. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorites.
Because the most important thing in that is the person who's talking feels heard.
Yeah.
It's not she heard me and it's like, yeah, I heard you. We've all had those conversations, but I felt heard. So she was present with me, because if you're just nodding or just staring at the person, that is a still face, and that is actually harmful. Like, person feels like, oh, I'm being judged. Whereas the audible sound says, you're present with me, you're hearing me, you're not judging me, you're listening to me. And so that feeling heard is so important.
Amazing. And Tanya, did you want to just sort of walk through a wheel real quick for us too, to show us how that works too? You don't have to. I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'm in awe.
Oh yeah, and just the other piece about the audible oohing the other person is that our job is not to fix, or correct, or to get defensive. So I might share something that is a hurt or a pain point that I felt from James, and he may have contributed to it, or he may not, and his job is to just ooh me. And I know I've done that to him in years past, where it's like, but I didn't mean that. You know, so this is where it's really effective. So for me, joy, just a beautiful sunny day today. I just really felt alive today. I had an appointment today and got into some emotional, digging into some emotional stuff. And just when I drove home, I felt uplifted and just a lot of joy and really alive. And also some joy. We had our daughter and a friend for dinner, just to connect before she goes back to sea at work. And anger, I still have a lot of anger at how many relationships are marriage relationships, especially family relationships, that are really struggling. And this is the power up emotion. This is not just I'm mad at. I just want to do something about it. Hurt. Yeah, sometimes some little bit of hurt in relationships where I feel not seen, not important, so kind of disregard.
Yeah.
And sad, some sad that some family is really far away and I can't connect really often. Some guilt, even just with our son's wedding, that I wasn't able to connect as much. Some shame in where times maybe I wasn't as patient or didn't allow as much grace with certain family members. Fear, a little bit of fear of just the busyness in our schedule that's coming up in the coming year, and how we're going to make sure we stay connected and keep that a priority. So I think, oh, and lonely, I think is the last one that I didn't do. Lonely can sometimes mean just feeling unsupported, or can just be, I just feel alone. So sometimes I feel some lonely at home by myself because I'm retired and sorting things out with my own health recovery, and James is at work. There's a bit of lonely with that. And that's my wheel. Woo.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, you know what's, it's so fun when you can create something that's so complex, but you deliver it in a simple way. And I think that's what the Connection Codes does so well. And I mean, you've got these incredible people. They're traveling to Paul River soon. It's pretty remarkable how simple. I mean, think about it. You guys both just did the wheel, and you did it by memory, which I actually have the book page open to the wheel because I don't know all of them by heart like you do. But I know this tool is really powerful. I mean, that's why I wanted to have you both on the show. I mean, this, you know what I mean? This has nothing to do with real estate or landlording. It has to do with being a good human and being a good partner and being able to get through of the stuff. And so I think that does a really good job. And I love hearing that, James, that your students are utilizing that and thriving from it. I mean, and this is not the first time you told me that the students are thriving from it. And here you guys are. Did I hear you right? I thought you just did one workshop. Now you've done two?
We've done two. Yeah, the first one was
now.
32. This one was 80. And now we're looking at what we're going to do in the spring and what that's going to look like. Yeah, because people want more. And it's one of the things that's really interesting about this is it's learning a new language. It's returning to our original programming, but yet it's a new language. We got to get back to it. So I kind of equate it to like I'm learning Spanish 101, but now I need Spanish 102, which is how do I include this in conversation? Because it takes practice, practice. Because it's not just about connecting with people with two, it's also connecting with yourself and knowing what's going on for you. And it's really relevant to being a landlord or being a tenant, because you learn the simple thing of just how to ooh people. So even if you've got a tenant who's coming and they're really miffed about something, they're angry about something, something's not working. And as a landlord, you want to get to, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, or you get to the logistics of it and you just hear them. They feel heard. That de-escalates. And then you can get to a place where now instead of being dysregulated and you're yelling at each other, you get the emotion comes down, and now you can start to talk on a conscious level. Because one of the powerful things that was really amazing for me to learn in this whole process is emotion shuts down cognition. We emotion before we think. That's the way we're made. And our emotions are our messengers, not our dictators. They're our messengers. They're designed to keep us safe. So it's like fear keeps us on the right-hand side of the road, not the yellow line. It's fear that keeps us on the right-hand side of the road. So we're not going to get injured, hurt, whatever. And so by dialing down and oohing somebody, it takes them out of that flooded state of high emotion, brings the emotion down so they can get to a place where now they can think. And once people can think, they don't disconnect. But when they're flooded and I'm not hearing you, we don't connect. And one of the most important questions that I've learned that I've eliminated out of my vocabulary is why. You never use the word why, because that's like a court case. Why indicts, where we use what happens or what's happening. That invites somebody to explain what's going on. So like, why did you slam the door? Now it's an accusation, whereas what's happening?
Right.
You come in the house and you slam the door. Oh yeah, geez, I was thinking about what was going on at work, or this guy cut me off on my bicycle on my way home, and I'm angry. And it's like, oh, okay, wow. So what do you need from me? So now we're having a conversation, and now it's not a fight. It's not an accusation. And it's powerful. It's really powerful.
So if you think of applying this in a business environment, or like a workplace, or landlord tenant, friends, it's not just married couples, siblings, parents, kids, even preschoolers can learn these tools. But thinking in a business environment, like what the example of a tenant that is upset about something, if they feel heard by the landlord and the landlord oohs them, that's the first thing. There's the ooh, there's the
What happens?
what happens.
Yeah, I missed it.
There's I missed it. If somebody say, oh, I missed it on that. And then the fourth phrase is, what do you need? And it could be that particular tenant had something really catastrophic happen in their family, and they're just really elevated and dysregulated. And it may have nothing to do with the landlord. It could be that they just need some extra support, or whatever you run into in that type of business. But then everybody feels, hopefully feels safe and feels heard.
Mm-hmm.
And you equate this to business. They've done studies where if people are connected and feel valued in a business, they will actually take up to a 38% pay cut to stay where they are. Also, most people operate at a 30 to 36% efficiency in a business, whereas connection codes in this language and people feeling connected can take you up to a 70% efficiency. And you think about in terms of a business, and they've consulted with businesses, so they have hard numbers with this. Glenn and Phyllis have hard numbers, and they'll take a business that starts using this language, they can double their productivity, double their sales, but no increase in manpower or expense. So you think about the bottom line and what that means for people staying on. You think about the cost of retraining somebody who's just angry at how they're being treated. You know, that could be $50,000 to $100,000 in hidden costs in a business, just the retraining of somebody. And that can take up to a year or longer, depending on your business. You cut the number of people that are leaving your business, you cut your retraining because people want to stay, and now they're more productive, and your sales and all that stuff goes up, but your expenses stay down. Man, the productivity, and then also your ability to give promotions, to be able to share the wealth, all these other things that happen as a natural result, not to mention your customer loyalty, because you have people that are oohing customers and they want to come back because that person makes me feel good. I'm going to go there. They're my people. You know, it's just staggering what that can do overall when you start thinking about the human condition and how we interact. Because it doesn't matter what business we're in. It doesn't matter whether you're a church or whether you're a nuclear submarine. It's a relationship business.
Violently agree. I am just so intrigued by this, and tell me more. Is there more?
Wow.
Or did we cover it all?
If people are listening to this podcast, one thing I would strongly recommend, the book is only a couple hundred pages. What makes the book amazing is they've got the research, they've got the exercises. The most important thing in the book is actually to do the exercises with somebody else, because it's in the experience that you actually feel what you felt with Time Over Coffee. But the other thing too is go to the podcasts. They're on Spotify, they're on YouTube, just like you are, Connection Codes, and listen to the podcast. Because if it wasn't for the podcasts, the book should be 2,000 pages long. But with all the experience stuff, everything from raising kids to sex to just to conflict, it's all there. Many different guests, many people from different walks of life, many different ages, from young children to right up to geriatrics. You know, it's all there and it all works because we're all human and we all walk this out in relationship. And it's staggering what can be learned. Yeah.
For me, with some of the trauma that I had walked through previously, and I always, I think, minimized life experience traumas of, well, trauma is really only somebody who's been injured, say, in a war or a severe car crash, maybe lost a limb. My stuff is pretty much peanuts to that. But what we learned through this is my emotion is my emotion, my experience is my experience, and my trauma is my trauma. Dr. Glenn does work with some of the US military. I think he's mentioned that in some of his podcasts. And he can't have one person who's come in with part of a leg removed, lost in action, and then the next client comes in and he's lost a leg and an arm. Well, your trauma is only just 17% of his. Well, his trauma is his trauma. We can't compare those things. So for me, giving language to process pain and hurts has just, oh my goodness, it's just skyrocketed my growth for moving forward in areas that I was stuck. And even in our marriage, James mentioned the experience assignments that are in the book. They are also part of the Foundation's masterclass. So this is the course we have just completed in our church community. It's available as an e-course, and that's on the website as well. Is we were able to get into some really hard conversations that we've never had before.
Yeah.
Last summer, we were able to break some dams. So one of the themes in the book is live a dam-free life.
Yeah.
So when there's a beaver that dams up a river, and once that goes, boy, becomes a river again, and we want to let that river emotion just flow naturally. Can it be hard? Yes. Can there be a lot of tears? Yes. But I feel very safe with James, and we were able to get past some really big dammed up emotion, and I can't even give words to the difference it's been. So
yeah, and one of the beauties with the wheel isn't the goal.
Okay.
We do it every morning, but that's not the goal. The goal is actually to get to a place where you can process your emotion in real time, right away, all the time. But the wheel is a tool to get you where you need to be, to know what's happening, to be able to express it, and to be regarded, and to get it out of your body and keep things flowing through you, and creating those environments where you feel safe, but also you're a safe person. Because basically we want to get to this place where everybody that's involved in our lives, we can answer yes to these two questions, which is, one, am I enough for you? And two, will you be there for me? And to have a deep relationship, you need to be able to say yes to those two questions. And if I say, yeah, I'll be there most of the time, then guess what? We're not going to connect deeply, and we're not going to have a deep relationship, because I just said, I'm not a safe person for you. And we think about, even in marriage, over years and years and years, it might not be a big thing that happens that causes us to disconnect. It might be death by 1,000 cuts. It's 1,000 little things where I feel disregarded, not heard. And these tools bring us back to, oh, I feel heard. Yes, I will be there for you. Yes, you are enough for me. And now we can go deeper again, because 35 years ago, I didn't say I do, and then thought, well, 4 years later, man, was this a mistake? Like, we're not connected like we used to be. And we were heading in that way, but
Mhm.
we've persevered through that. We've overcome it, but this thing actually changed everything. I'm kind of pissed, actually. If we should have had this 35 years ago, this would have been a game changer for us and for our relationship and our marriage. And we're so thankful that our son and his new wife are starting with this. And it's awesome because they're going to start up here, standing on our shoulders instead of starting at ground zero like us. And it's phenomenal to put in the
I
time and
can
put in the effort.
I can appreciate all of this because you guys have done so many marriage programs, just like you talked about. And if this one is the most, again, it takes the most complex issues and makes them simple and daily, and you can replicate them easily to the point where you answer those two really powerful, but again, very simple questions. Pretty
Yeah.
amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm excited because I feel like these tools are going to help equip the listeners and beyond. I'm just amazed. I ordered the book. It's called The Connection Codes. I ordered it on Amazon. It was $10, $15, I think. I forget what it was. And this is in the US. You guys are in Canada. I'm in Hawaii. But you can get the book anywhere. Yeah. And if they want to learn more, what's the website again?
Connectioncodes.co.
Okay, perfect. Any parting thoughts, you two?
Oh,
Well, it's one of those things that if you are not having deep relationships, um, and you crave those deep relationships, this is the way to go. This is the tool that will lead you down that road. And personally, I've discovered for myself that I've become quite ruthless with my relationships because I don't want to do shallow anymore. And the people that just want to do shallow in my life, I don't have time for that. I don't even have time for the people that I want to go deep with. So it's made it real easy to call out some of the relationships that are
Love it.
just fluff, it's like, yeah, I just don't want to do that anymore. It's actually painful. And it's what's so funny is once you learn this language, you can't unsee once you start to see. So you could even be watching a sitcom and it's like, for crying out loud, just ooh her, because he's disregarding her or she's disregarding him. And it's like, oh, this is so easy. Come on, you can do this. Connection codes. But it's so powerful. Even now, when we miss, oh, it's painful when we miss because we know when we miss. And we're literally just 20 seconds away from turning that around and connecting again. And it's like, oh man, it was almost like the roof was caving in, but now, hey, we're good again. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing because this whole thing stops it from becoming accusation and you made me feel. Well, no, Tom can't make me feel anything. What I feel is what I feel.
Right.
And what she feels and what she feels. So I can't fix her. She can't fix me. She can't make me feel anything. I can't make her feel anything. But if I don't say anything, she's guessing what's happening for me. And it's when we start guessing what's going on for the other person, that's when things go sideways.
yeah.
So this language of communicating what's happening for me takes the guesswork out of it for her so she can just hear me. And she may not understand what's going on for me because I'm a little bit weird and funky at times. And she doesn't have to understand. She just needs to hear me. And I just need to feel heard. And that's all that matters. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tanya, any last words?
Oh, yeah, there was something that just escaped me because the over 50 memory. But yeah, it's something that I encourage everybody to check out the podcast, check out the website. It's very applicable to married couples, businesses, singles who are maybe in the dating age group and they want to learn new tools for, is this person I'm dating going to be safe for me? Do I feel regarded? Do I feel seen? Maybe it can just help with that process a little bit. And what I love is when I hear parents with little kids where their kids are going to bed regulated instead of dysregulated because they've done a little core emotion wheel with them, and they're able to, you know, simplify it down. And I look forward to doing that with, if we're blessed with grandkids down the road, that we can teach them how to be regulated and share their emotion, and we can co-regulate with them instead of this buzzword, well, they just got to learn to self-regulate. Well, no, that takes up like 80% more glucose or energy that our body burns up. But if we can just sit and be present and just ooh them, they can be, okay, I'm happy now, I can carry on to the next thing. It's just really remarkable. And
Love it.
sometimes it just involves taking a little bit of a risk to be vulnerable, to see, is this going to be safe for me? And the outcome is generally always pretty favorable.
Yeah.
So best thing I've ever done.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you for the invite. So good to see you.
Likewise.